And good evening, y'all. Peter Barclay here, host of True North Sports Talk podcast. And speaking of, don't forget, new episode drops tomorrow evening, and it is likely going to be a precursor to the Labor Day Classic, so you don't want to miss that, as the Classic takes place on Monday. So be there. Make sure you check that out tomorrow evening, sometime around 7 o'clock. And let's get into the 3-minute drill. Lots happening in sports today on your Saturday. Let's start out with some tennis. Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime stuns Zverev and advances to the fourth round at the US Open. That's a pretty deep run into the Open for him. Denis Shapovalov, he fell to Sinner at the US Open, and Fernandez and Williams advance as well on the ladies' side. All right, and some basketball news before we jump into some WNBA scores. Former Toronto Raptor, and he was part of that 2019 championship team, and it almost seems odd to still hear this name. However, Linsanity has finally ended. Jeremy Lin has decided to retire from the NBA. Now, we haven't heard much from him the last few years. Maybe he had some bit parts here and there, but he was a pretty big part of that 2019 team off of the bench. And as a basketball fan, y'all will remember his days in New York when Linsanity was in full effect. All right, let's take a look at the WNBA now as we're in basketball mode. Seattle 79, Chicago 69, and Golden State 99, Washington 62, Minnesota 94, Connecticut 70, and finally the Phoenix is over the New Yorks 82-63. All right. And so Toronto FC, in some soccer news, drew late to tie Montreal. Some quick baseball scores: New York 5, Chicago 3. That's not good news for us. Boston lost 10-3, and Milwaukee won 4-1 over our Blue Jays, inching the Yankees closer. That's your day in sports. Subscribe to the